You can have vision, strategy, and even hope, but without faith, nothing is going to work out. Here's what I mean. A lot of times I see guys, especially men, we do this thing where we dream and we strategize and we plan all this stuff out. And if things line up perfectly, then we'll accomplish every goal that we've ever sought out to reach or sought out, period. However, yes, this is technically true if planning was the end result or like the end goal. Like if everything relied on how good your plan was, men would have everything in the world that they ever wanted. However, vision, strategy, and hope doesn't actually accomplish anything. And to be honest, that's kind of like the best worst part because while you do need those things in order to find out what the thing is that you're trying to accomplish, that's just the beginning of everything. Without faith, nothing else matters, right? Here's why. Because faith without works is dead. I did a video similar to this a while back where I kind of talked about faith and um, just how faith works and, you know, uh, just the whole thing of like, there comes a point where you actually have to do the work required to get the thing that you want. So if you're planning out, you have a strategy, you have belief, but you're not actually taking action, then this whole plan, this whole vision, and all this hope is actually just dead, which is what faith without works is dead means. It just means that you believe something's going to happen, but if you're not actually taking action, then it just shows that you don't actually believe in what you're talking about. And it may not be necessarily that you don't believe in the plan or the strategy or the vision. It may just be that you don't believe in yourself. Right? I've had a lot of plans where I'm like, man, this is like this could actually work and this could actually be something huge. But then when I'm the one that has to actually go run the play, I'm like, I don't think I'm the person that can actually do that. Like, there's so many things that I think that, let me back up. I think that I would be so good at orchestrating someone else's life. But when it comes to orchestrating my own life, I'm like, I don't necessarily believe I can do that, but I know a guy. I know a guy who can do that exact thing right there, right? And that's the thing that we have to overcome if we want to go to that next level. Like, yes, this version of you can't do it, right? But you got to add self development and self growth into that plan, into that strategy, into that vision, into that hope. Where you got to understand that this version of you isn't going to be the version that is in the future, the version that's actually running a multi-million-dollar company, the one that's leading people, the one that's, has a good marriage, is a good husband, is a good father, or whatever you're trying to accomplish, right? That you isn't you right now. You got to become that you as well. And so if you're not adding self-development onto these plans and these strategies and this vision, you're just going to end up back where you are right now because this version of you isn't consistent. This version of you lacks persistence, lacks the discipline it takes to actually go succeed. This version of you hasn't read the leadership books and the people skill books on how to lead people effectively or how to influence people to do things you need them to do in your business, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This version of you isn't enough yet. And that's the harsh reality of success. That's the harsh reality of life. That's the harsh reality of really everything is that you have to do more than just plan, strategize, hope. and believe, right? You actually have to grow. You actually have to take action. You actually have to be the one that is actually doing the hard crap. um, and I don't think that enough people take the time to focus on that part. I think that, again, like I said in the beginning of this video, I think that a lot of times we plan things out and we're like, okay, well, if I just send out, I don't know, if you have an outreach type of business or a call center type of business, or you are creating a content on here, right? Like, there comes a point where, yeah, you can release a video every single day, right? You can release a video every single day and hope that you blow up. But if you're not like that's the plan. The plan is I'm gonna release a video every single day, and by the end of the year, I'm gonna be at 10,000 subs, right? Awesome. Like, yeah, that could work. However, if there, if you don't actually make the videos every single day and post them, like, you know what I mean? Do you really believe that? Um, if you're not watching each video back and thinking, okay, how can I get better in this video? What can I do better in the next video that I didn't do in this video? What can I do to stand out just a little bit more? What's that 1% thing, right? If you're not growing in yourself to even talk about the things that you're talking about, like, let's say, in a lot of my videos, I give mindset or finance advice, or business advice or whatever. If I'm not reading and learning about the stuff that I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying, eventually I'm gonna run out of crap to talk about because I'm not learning anything new. And so you gotta also add personal development into your journey, because that right there is a journey that will never end. You're gonna be 60, 70 years old still learning new crap, still doing new things, and at the end of the day, like, all the other crap's gonna go away. The only thing that really matters is the things that really matter, which is the personal development, the self development. Like, your marriage in the future is either gonna be rocky or it's gonna be stable, but it's based on how you grow as a person, right? Your business is gonna be rocky or it's gonna be stable, but it also depends on how you grow as a businessman. Your relationship with your kids, your relationship with your family, your relationship with your friends, right? Coworkers, all this stuff is all just a byproduct of how well or not well you do with personal development. And again, your plans, your vision, the hope, the belief, none of that crap matters if you're not willing to do any work. And on the flip side, there's people that are just doing work with no freaking plans, right? They're just grinding. They don't know where they're going. They don't know why they're doing it. They don't really even know what they're doing. They're just doing, which honestly, I'd almost rather work with that person. If I had to choose, if I was a life coach, or if I was a business coach, or if I was a some type of coach in that regard, and I had to help one or two people, and one person was they're just doing stuff all the time, and you need to guide them, versus the person that has all this stuff planned out but they're not moving anywhere. I'd rather this person, because you can't steer a parked car, right? You can't steer a parked car. You can't push a wet noodle. All you can do is pull a noodle, right? You can't push a wet noodle. If this person doesn't want to go anywhere, they won't. If this person's already moving, all you got to do is just slight tweaks, slight tweaks, slight tweaks, and eventually they'll get to where they need to go because they're on the path, right? If me and you are trying to get to California from New York, well, if I just take off driving, whether it's north, south, east, or west, and I'm driving at 200 miles an hour, if I'm going in the wrong direction, yeah, it'll take a long time. But if you don't start for another 30 days, like, the chance of me being there in 30 days, even if I go in the wrong direction for 4 hours and eventually I turn around and go back the other way, I'll still be there in less than 3 days. You see what I'm saying? Where you're still planning out, you know, what GPS you're gonna use. You're picking your clothes. You're trying to rent cars and figure out all this crap. And, like, just go, just do. That's it. Just have faith and let God figure out the rest. Set small plans. Don't think that you have to have the whole roadmap planned out. I guess that's the thing. Don't have the whole. Just get to the first checkpoint, right? For example, if you want to be a YouTuber or you want to you want to start a business or whatever. Okay, great. You want to have $100 million company. Awesome. Let's not talk about the $100 million anymore. Let's not talk about the million subscribers on YouTube anymore. Let's not talk about a successful marriage anymore. That's the long term goal. What can you do in the next 30, 60, 90 days? Run at that target. When you get to that target, let me know and let's talk again. You see what I'm saying? You'll never be able to plan out your entire life. Things change, things happen. You'll never be able to plan out all of it. But you can plan out checkpoints. And all you want to do is hit those checkpoints and then create a new one. Hit those checkpoints, create a new one. Hit those checkpoints, create a new one. And before you know it, you're in California. Again, if you're driving from New York to California and you're in New York, you know you got 4 hours until that gas tank hits E. 4 to 5 hours, depending on what kind of car you're in, right? Where can you get by the end of that gas tank being empty? Forget about California. You need to get to Chicago. Okay, well, between Chicago and New York, there's a certain amount of hours and there's a certain amount of gas stations. You need to get to that first one. And you need to do it faster than, you know, faster. Just you need to do it fast, right? That's the goal. You need to get to that first checkpoint as fast as you can. That's what faith is. It's believing that you can get to California, but acting on the now. It's acting on the right now. What can you do right now based on the belief that you have and the goals that you want to accomplish? If you're not acting on that right now, you don't believe, you don't have faith, and all of this crap is dead. And it's only a matter of time before you realize it. So, hope the video helps. I hope that out of this video, you stop planning so much and you just start taking action. Again, I said this in another video, volume negates luck. Luck only is luck is just when preparedness meets execution. Right? It's or opportunity, I should say. Preparedness meets opportunity. Right? So it's when you've been working on this thing for so freaking long and then eventually someone sees it and you're like, boom, got it. Luck. Overnight success. But you've been working on this thing for forever. You've been driving to California for a long ass time. And just finally, no one sees the grind. No one sees the planning. No one sees the late nights of you editing your videos, the late nights of you, setting up all the stuff that you do for whatever, life that you're trying to create. And that's fine. That's totally fine. I heard one guy talk on I think it was TikTok, and he said, I don't remember the exact quote, but he was basically like, planning should be done in private and the results, how do you say it? No one needs to know about your plans, but you should show them your plans by your results. Basically, like you don't need to you don't need to tell the whole world that you are like um, planning a wedding, for lack of better words, right? Just let them show up at the wedding. Just call your family when the wedding's about to happen. They don't need to know all the stress and stuff about the plan. Just have the wedding and have people show up. No one needs to know that you're struggling in your business. No one needs to know that you're building a business. Just let them see the fruit when you're done, right? And so at the end of the day, again, guys, keep planning, keep strategizing, keep hope, keep belief, but add action. At the end of the day, is all that matters. So with that, hope this video helps. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.